what used to take a full room to send people to the moon, I now have, more power in my iPhone, right? Far and away more power. I think I have more power in my calculator when I was a kid than they did at the computer that sent the rocket to the moon, right? So the same thing is happening with AI, but it's happening every 3 to 6 months.
My kids, they make fun of me because I use ChatGPT. I mean, I like using the technology because it helps me explain things even better. I mean, I think I'm a decent writer, but I've never been, that was not my favorite subject. I mean, I'm not an English major, anything like that. So when I write something to anybody, sometimes, well, not every time, but sometimes I'll just take it and I'll throw it in there. Like for example, there was a situation, somebody passed away and I wanted to send a really nice note. And so what ChatGPT does is it actually cleans up my idea, right? You still have to put the idea in there. I mean, it's not like, the ChatGPT is just figuring out what I want to say. It doesn't know what I want to say. I have to prompt it. I have to tell it my ideas, what I think, what I believe, what I, want to come across, my condolences to this situation. And of course, they're just cleaning it up. It just makes it sound so much nicer and cleaner and better. And in a lot of cases, a lot more sincere and a lot more direct and straightforward. And am I making any sense here?
Oh, yeah. I mean, for me, I know ChatGPT is a better writer than I am. And I think artificial intelligence is really the wrong name for this right now. Now, we might have a general intelligence at some point in time where it actually thinks up new ideas and new things. But what it really is the most advanced autocomplete ever designed. That it has read everything that has ever been written on the internet. And then it says, okay, someone is saying something about this. What are other things that look like this? And okay, here's 20,000 other examples. Let me put something together that uses those 20,000 examples. And that's how it works, right?
It's wild. Could you go into more detail in that? Like, how does ChatGPT work?
Yeah, so what they do is they have 1.7 trillion data points right now. And they've basically taken all of the content on the internet and they've scanned it all. And the reason that we're having this revolution now and not 10 years ago or 10 years from now is we finally have the processing power to be able to do it. And as that processing power continues to increase, this is going to get leaps and bounds better over time. So are you familiar with Moore's Law?
No. Oh, yeah, a little bit.
I mean, basically, it says processing power for computers doubles every 18 to 24 months. And this has been happening since the 60s or 50s or whatever, since they invented computers, that every year and a half, every 2 years, the ability of those computers has doubled. So what used to take a full room to send people to the moon, I now have, more power in my iPhone, right? Far and away more power. I think I have more power in my calculator when I was a kid than they did at the computer that sent the rocket to the moon, right? So the same thing is happening with AI, but it's happening every 3 to 6 months. Which, what does that look like? Well, that means 6 months, right? 5 years from now, if it's doubling, it's 1,000 times more powerful. What's it going to look like at 1,000 times more powerful in 5 years? And it's 1,000,000 times more powerful in 10 years. And
I think, kind of getting back to my point of having an assistant, it costs me $20 a month. I mean, at least in using ChatGPT 4.0 or whatever it is.
Yep.
I mean, I have an assistant for a couple $100 a year versus $100,000 a year that can write better, probably than that person that I'm paying $100,000 a year to be my assistant. I can ask it anything. I mean, I used it. I own a commercial property and I, rented it, I'm leasing it out. So there was a couple of things that the lawyer, it was late at night and I wanted to know some answers. So I just went in there and I asked it all kinds of questions. And matter of fact, I took the whole contract, I stuck it in the ChatGPT, and I'm like, just tell me if there's anything I should worry about or any challenges with this contract that you think. And boom, 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 all these different ideas and all these different things that I didn't see on the first. and there's just it's just so powerful. It's unbelievable. Okay, I have a question for you, Thomas, because I'm telling you this,
and it's probably not going to be better than the top lawyer in the field, but it's going to be a hell of a lot better than I am.
Oh,
right.
absolutely.
You know, or it's probably not going to be better than the top heart surgeon about hearts, but it's going to know more than 99.9% of the general public about anything there is out there. So if you're at the top of your field,
start, right? It's a great
amazing.
place to start when you're trying to analyze something. It's a great place to go, okay, here's a foundation, boom, 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 boom. And then you can keep asking from there. And if you feel like you're not getting the best answers, then you go to the professional, you go to the heart surgeon, you go to the whoever, but at least it's a foundation. And it's like you said, what's 1.7 trillion or whatever, bits of information. It's just wild, man. Okay, Thomas, because like I said, man, we're going to be here for 3 days because I have so much, because I'm just fascinated by you and I'm fascinated by this technology. Okay, so what are some of the challenges that you had when, developing this program and this app and this business that you put together?
So, I mean, you want to talk about being here for 3 days. I could write a book on all the challenges that I've had. So for anyone who's building something new, nothing is easy. Any of these things that looks like an overnight success. I mean, maybe you get 1 in a million that just pops overnight, but there's probably a lot of blood, sweat, and tears behind it for, working 60 and 80-hour weeks for years. And then, oh my God, it's an overnight success. Right. They don't see all the work that went in and all the challenges. So we had to figure out the best way to advertise the product. So, I can tell you, we had a bunch of issues initially with advertising. We started advertising. We had a bot farm put on us. One of our competitors put a bot farm on us. That was fun. So all of a sudden our conversions went to 0 and our cost went up tenfold on Google overnight, and we couldn't figure out what happened. And then we started seeing all the traffic was from places like Moses Lake, Washington, and Cheyenne, Wyoming, and Ashburn, Virginia. And you're like, what do these all have in common? And they're like, oh, they all have big data centers for AWS, right? So, there was things like that, and, on all the different advertising platforms. By the way, figure out how to advertise or hire someone who knows how to do it. We're doing things for other businesses where if they don't want to figure out how to advertise, we'll help them with that piece of the business as well. But with the changing TCPA rules, cold outreach is basically going to be dead. If you start texting lists cold, if you start calling consumers cold, they'll start finding you ridiculous amounts of money. And next year, the gloves are coming off with the FTC and the FCC.
If you like this video and you want to watch another one, click right here.